Hey there! What if I told you that the real secret to joining Australia's wealthiest 1% has absolutely nothing to do with what you're doing sitting at your desk during that standard 9 to 5 grind? I know, we usually assume wealth is built, right there in the boardroom during normal daylight hours. But what if the real magic is actually happening before the rest of the country even opens their eyes? Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're going to completely flip your assumptions about success upside down. We are breaking down a highly effective, incredibly specific blueprint. We're talking about the secret 10 habits that self-made, wealthy Australians have totally nailed down before the clock even strikes 8 a.m. So I want to pose this question directly to you right out of the gate. What if the key to cracking that 1% really does happen before 8 a.m.? Because honestly, when you look at the data and the actual routines of the ultra-successful, it's pretty fascinating. Down here in Australia, building massive wealth isn't just about working hard. I mean, plenty of people work hard, right? It's really about mastering a precise, disciplined morning routine. You know the saying, success leaves clues? Well, the way you kick off your morning literally sets the exact trajectory for your financial success. Okay, let's dive into this, because the contrast here is just eye-opening. Think about the average morning. It's basically a state of constant reaction, isn't it? Hitting snooze 3 times, rushing out the door, grabbing some sugary snack, and just fighting whatever fires popped up overnight. But an elite morning? It's completely different. It's proactive. It's deeply intentional. It lets you dictate your financial trajectory because you are the one controlling your day, instead of letting the day control you. Here is our chronological roadmap, basically a ticking clock from 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. We're going to move from that pre-dawn found time to cultivating physical vitality, right into strategic execution, and then finally wrapping up with daily goal alignment and proper fueling. Act 1, cultivating vitality and mindset. This is that crucial 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. window. All right, before we even think about talking money or markets or massive business deals, we absolutely have to establish the biological foundation. And the very first habit is simple, but man, it's ruthless. Beat the sun. Seriously, you will rarely, if ever, find a self-made Australian millionaire sleeping past 6 a.m. Rolling out of bed at 5 a.m. is literally the ultimate competitive advantage. While the competition is fast asleep, the economic elite are awake and they are taking control. Now, you might be wondering, why 5 a.m.? Well, because it creates what we call found time. This is a quiet, completely distraction-free window. No pinging emails, no ringing phones, nothing. It is this rare, precious period used entirely to focus on yourself before the chaotic noise of the day officially kicks off. Habit number 2 takes full advantage of that found time. There's a saying, in Australia, health is wealth, and we see this everywhere, especially with the whole coastal movement. Whether that's taking a brisk coastal walk from Bondi to Bronte, hitting a dawn surf session on the Gold Coast, or just sweating it out in a brutal F-45 class. Getting moving immediately is totally non-negotiable. This early blood flow and that massive dopamine spike, they aren't just about looking good. They literally build the stamina and neuroplasticity you need to make high-stakes financial decisions later in the day. Okay, habit number 3 brings that heart rate right back down. Mindset grounding. Look, high wealth naturally brings incredibly high stress. That's just a given. So to combat this, the elite dedicate 10 to 15 minutes every single morning to meditation or breath work. And by doing this, they are actively lowering their cortisol levels. It essentially trains the brain to stay super calm under extreme pressure, which absolutely prevents the kind of rash, emotional decision-making that can blow up a multi-million-dollar trade or derail a whole team under stress. Let's move to Act 2 and see how this builds strategic wealth and execution. As the sun finally starts to rise, the focus shifts straight into business. Just consider the contrast in how this specific hour is spent by different people. On one side, you've got the TikTok scrollers, right? Just flooding their brains with cheap social media dopamine. But on the other side, the market analyzers. Well before 7 a.m., the wealthy are reviewing the Wall Street close. They're checking their ASX portfolios, and they're analyzing macroeconomic trends in the AFR. They do not react to the economy, they anticipate it. Which leads us straight to our next core habit, eating the frog. And no, we don't mean literally eating a frog. It's a phrase that means tackling your absolute most critical, high-leverage task first thing. Your peak morning brain power is incredibly valuable, so it's definitely not wasted on, clearing out spam emails or doing busy work. The economic elite spend this first uninterrupted hour on serious business strategy, massive property deals, or really complex creative problem solving. Act 3, alignment, fuel, and growth. We are now in the 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. window. Now, what's really interesting here is how the focus slightly shifts outward as the typical workday approaches. It's all about fueling the body and the network. The elite treat their bodies like premium, high-performance vehicles. They rely on top-tier fuel. Think eggs, avocado, maybe a premium protein smoothie with absolutely zero refined sugars. This is so crucial because it completely bypasses that productivity-killing mid-morning sugar crash that totally derails most of the normal workforce by around 10:30 a.m. Another absolutely critical practice is daily goal alignment, or what we call the 1% rule. Every single morning, these high performers review their 5-year financial plan, and then they rigorously evaluate today's specific actions against it. If a task doesn't actively compound their wealth, their network, or their health, they are ruthless. They just delegate it or drop it entirely. They don't write generic to-do lists, guys. They write growth lists. Next up is leveraging Australia's famous cafe culture. You've heard the saying, your network is your net worth, right? Well, by 7:30 a.m., while most folks are still desperately trying to iron their shirts, the elite are out having a strategic long black coffee catch-up. Early mornings are hands down the absolute best time to connect with other busy, high-value mentors, partners, or investors way before their calendars get totally hijacked by the day's demands. Then comes what I like to call the university on wheels. When they finally transition into the CBD or head over to a project site, the radio is turned off. No morning shock jocks here. That transit time is completely repurposed for continuous learning. They are absorbing property investment podcasts, business audiobooks, or biographies of billionaires. The learning literally never stops. The climax, winning the day early. It's now 8 a.m. So the crucial point is that all of this preparation brings us to the climax at exactly 8 a.m., right before the traditional workday officially kicks off. The 10th and final habit is visualizing the exit strategy. Just before stepping out the door or logging onto that first Zoom call, they actually mentally rehearse their entire day. They picture perfect meetings, calm negotiations, and smooth obstacle resolution. By the time they officially start working, they have literally already won the day in their own minds. And this brilliantly illustrates the complete blueprint all coming together. From joining the 5 a.m. club and getting that mindset grounded, to scanning the markets, eating the frog, and getting in that strategic networking. It becomes incredibly clear that joining the economic elite is not about getting lucky. It is all about a meticulously disciplined daily routine. Building true wealth is a daily practice, and it starts the literal second your alarm goes off. And honestly, the best part about all of this? You don't need $1 million in the bank to start doing these things today. So take one more look at that list. Which of these 10 habits are you going to implement tomorrow morning? I really want to know, so let me know down in the comments. If you found this explainer valuable, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another guide on mastering your financial habits. Get out there and make tomorrow morning count.